Hey, it's John with SoDoesItMatter.com, all California politics, all time. Anyways, I wanted to do this brief commentary. I was reading that there's a debate scheduled at USC hosted by their Center for Political Future. It's also co-sponsored by KABC TV and Univision television, and it's a gubernatorial candidate debate, and it's now mired in controversy. And it's mired in controversy because of who they've invited to participate and who they did not invite to participate. Apparently, there's some political scientist, smart guy over at the University of Southern California. He's a professor of political science and public policy by the name of Christian Gross. And apparently he was charged with coming up with some sort of objective criteria so that they could winnow the field, because I think they felt that if they had a debate with 8 candidates, and I don't know this to be the case, but I assume that they felt that that debate would not have, I'm not 8 candidates, sorry, 10 candidates, that they would feel that no one would have enough time to say anything. It wouldn't be much of a debate. So this guy came up with some criteria, apparently based on the last Public Policy Institute of California statewide survey, along with some criteria having to do with money raised. The end result of that criteria being applied was that 6 of the 10 candidates were invited to participate. Both of the Republican leading candidates, Chad Bianco and Steve Hilton, were invited to participate, but then also 4 Democrat candidates, so half of the Democrats: Tom Steyer, Matt Mahan, Katie Porter, and Eric Swalwell. They were all invited. Who was excluded from the debate? Xavier Becerra, Antonio Villaraigosa, Betty Yee, and Tony Thurmond. And when that happened, it took about a nanosecond before Becerra, Villaraigosa, Yee, and Thurmond started to cry foul. But they didn't say, hey, it's not fair that we were excluded just like that. They all had something to say about people of color being excluded from the debate. Becerra said the debate decision smelled of election rigging, and he argued that the outcome shows that all candidates of color were excluded, while a white candidate who had not polled higher than some of them was invited. Villaraigosa said that the debate criteria were biased and bigoted. He accused Christian Gross, Mr. Smart Professor dude at USC, of manipulating the polling and fundraising data used in the debate formula. He said that he ranked higher than Mahan in both metrics, both that he got higher than Mahan in the PPIC debate and that he's raised more money than Mahan. We'll talk about this in a minute. And Thurmond, of course, he's Mr. Everything is all about the fact that he's black. And Betty Yee also had choice words to say. So let's go look at that PPIC survey that was used in the criteria. How did people do in that? It was taken back in February, and it went like this. Steve Hilton got 14%, Porter got 13%, Chad Bianco got 12%, Eric Swalwell got 11%, Tom Steyer got 10%. Then things precipitously drop. Villaraigosa got 5%, Becerra got 5%, Mahan got 3%, and then it drops to UE and Thurmond down at the bottom. So if you use that criteria, and if they wanted to pull 6, it would include Villaraigosa, would not include Mahan, Becerra, or Thurmond. And then apparently there was a money chase number that you needed to hit. I'm not sure exactly what the number was, but it was apparently based on what you showed at your last reports, which all would have been fundraising through the end of the year, plus anything that you officially filed, so late contribution reports. Now, this certainly would have showed a big boost from Mahan, who's raised a crap ton of money since he got into the race. But the reality is Villaraigosa has polled higher than him consistently. And Villaraigosa, last I checked, has raised at or near or above $6 million. That's a lot of money. So I think there's some questions that need to be answered about how Matt Mahan got boosted up in there. One of the accusations is that my buddy, Mike Murphy, is a political consultant who is associated with the USC school. I don't know if he teaches a class there or he's just involved with the Dorn's Life kind of government project there. Anyways, the accusation was that he's a co-director of the USC Center for the Political Future. But apparently he said that he has firewalled himself off from any involvement with this debate because he is a volunteer supporting Mahan and may have some role with a Mahan IE, although he has said that if he actually made any money at that, he would take a leave. If he says he recused himself, he recused himself. So I don't think that Mahan is present because of funny business done by Murphy. Anyways, it's a shit show. And I find that there's some irony because, of course, the Democratic Party is all about DEI. They're all about giving extra points to people because of their ethnicity or their race. And apparently, nobody gave that message to this Christian guy, the smart guy from USC, Christian Gross. He was not told to add points based on those criteria. Anyways, my prediction at the end of the day is that they'll end up having all 10 of these candidates in their debate, and everyone will be able to say their name, their favorite color, their favorite animal, and one thing that's important to them, and then they'll be out of debate time. I will close by saying that I recall something like this happening in Republican land. It was 2016. It might have been 2015. Yeah, no, it was 2015. Summer of 2015, the first debate, presidential debate in 2015 for the 2016 election. This is where you had Hillary and Bernie banging on each other on the Democrat side. And then Republicans gathered at, I remember it was the Quickens Loan Arena in Cleveland. And Fox was hosting the debate, and they had to divide the debate because there were 16 Republican candidates. And so they kind of had the main event and then the undercard, or as we all called it at the time, the big kids table and the little kids table. They had Trump, Bush, Walker, Rubio, Carson, Cruz, Paul, Christie, Huckabee, and Kasich at the main event. So a couple people of color. You had Rubio and Cruz and Carson, three. And then at the undercard table, you had Rick Perry, Bobby Jindal, Rick Santorum, Carly Fiorina, Lindsey Graham, George Pataki, and Jim Gilmore. As matter of fact, I recall Carly kind of had a bit of a come out moment in that and really outperformed the other people at the little kids table. It didn't ultimately get her the nomination, but she did all right. Anyways, that's what I got. It's a crazy mess, and we'll see how it all sorts out. I just think there's a bunch of irony that the party of DEI has their four candidates of color currently excluded from a debate. It's pretty rich. It's pretty choice. We'll see you.